Well, this has been a long time coming, and you might be curious of what this whole thing is. Allow me to give you some context. So, for if you remember way back when, 2 years ago, around 2021, the year of the indefinite hiatus, I actually decided to go ahead and do a collection review, basically showing you all of the characters and scenes that I've gotten thus far. And it does kind of show you what has been released and what has been available to people to get. So that way you can look at it and go, oh, I'm missing this character, or oh, I have this character, just so you can get a good idea with everything like that. Now, ever since this happened, I figured I wanted to keep on doing this type of thing. Now, I'm not going to go way back in the past and just kind of go through all the stuff. This is more or less adding from the last one we left off on, going into where we are now. So, this is looking at 2 years of length, because there was not a whole lot that got added during this year. So, this is just my version of trying to get into content top and whatever. So, if you want more context, go watch the 2021 collection review, and you'll get the full caps and everything. I think the last time we left off was during the Wonderland Factory here for the Full Moon Fever. So, we're going to go continue off from there. Now, during that last part, I did mention that there were 2 scenes I have yet to collect. One of them being the barn scene from Chicken Chicken, and the other one being the Marcus Mansion. Now, during this time, for these 2 years, one of these actually became available for us to collect. And that is the Marcus Mansion. Yep, we finally got this in the scene. So I figured, let's go ahead and show this off. This has both Susie, Marcus, and then also the twins, Abe and Ned Marcus. So let's take a look at this. So we get to see here. So we get to see this type of scares, right? So we'll do that, and then let's just go ahead and see. Yeah, so Susie does the whole, like, imagination thing, like we joked with the SpongeBob stuff before. So nothing new there, But Ned just kind of does the boo type thing. And it is interesting. I don't know if it's Ned or Abe. I think I know one is for the other, and the other one, it's been a while, man. It's been a while to know who's Ned and who's Abe. I know Ned is the one with one of them is with the scarf, and Abe is the other one. But, yeah. So it gives you context there. Let's go see the other 2, which I believe are just, well, I can see the trails of spooks. They're down here. So both of them? Yeah, they are. Yeah, so it's interesting to see how, they designed this type of stuff. And I do like how they do the ghosts this time around here, which actually makes them seem like they're blue, but they're not transparent, so they're able to be seen. It's weird how different people do the ghosts differently. But yeah, it kind of drops this off. And it drops, I believe this is the, if I remember correctly, it was the Ouija board, or I'm sure the spirit board, that's what it was called. Yeah, so it drops the spirit board, so you got that kind of expected there. Right, so that ends that. So we still have yet the barn to get for 2020 in order to complete that collection. But let's go ahead and go to 2022 to see what needs to be collected from there. As of right now, I have everything from 2022 collected, so I'm going to show you that. So the first thing is, let's do the character and then the scenes. So, I'm going to see, good, I found him. So our new character that we got when the game came back in revival is that of Dr.Grey. This is a weird guy, I'll say, just because of how odd he is as a character. He's supposed to be an astrologist, I believe is what they're called. Somebody who's researched when it comes to stuff in space. And his whole thing is that, there's aliens out there, which is funny because there's like jokes about aliens already being in town, but he has no idea. And of course, the one thing he's going after is the Martians from the book representing him there. And it has been heavily implied that he actually did end up killing somebody, the main character from the book, from the hints of the freezer there. But it is quite funny that they decided to go for the darker timeline this time around, because it kind of gives it makes this a little bit more darker than it should be. But yeah, we got scheming, we got tweaking the freezer, and I'm gonna go with flashback because this fits his character outright. Him just freaking out right here, going into a hissy, and is this like, having Vietnam flashbacks and this kind of, yeah, it's quite funny to see this kind of happening there. But Dr.Grey was the first character we got that was for free, quote unquote, for money. And not only that, but he was also introduced with something else that actually became one of the most best things that came out of this whole thing, for me anyways, because of the whole trying to get stuff going. And that is the Egg Martians, or the one true egg monster. Yes, the Egberts, the Noggies here. So each of them are interesting. Now, they did actually drop a Martian egg, but they've recently changed it to drop the scene from Full Moon Fever. I don't know why. They probably will change it back once it comes back as a special book, most likely. We'll see. But let's summon these guys. Now, the thing is, 3 of these are working fine. The other 2's animation, for some reason, is just broken. I don't know why. They just are. So let's summon them up. As you can see, like, they're moving around, like, jiggling about. But you see these 2, they're doing it slowly, and they're just sliding across here. And the reason I love these little guys is because not only do they look cute and spooky, but the other real reason is because these guys, they take so long to do their animation scare thing that they're able to reset and actually, you know, so they can keep on scaring the same guy, right? I love it. So he's going after somebody. But, yeah, these little guys, they're so cute, but they're great when it comes to research purposes of showing characters getting scared. So this is the scene I use for when it comes to scaring people. So it's brilliant. I can just have them be harassing one character in particular just to show their scared animation, and it's perfect. It just makes it fitting so well. If of course the character that got added actually have some scare animation going on, but it is quite fun indeed. But yeah, these things are quite cute. They kind of fit within the story. They're supposed to be misunderstood creatures in a sense. Like, they don't, as far as I know, they don't cause any problems as far as from the story anyways. But yeah, they're just kind of there. You know what I mean? So that's the thing there. So after that, the game ended up, like, the next update came during the anniversary to this game's, or not this just game, this series, 30th anniversary, because it's a big milestone to pass. And to add this celebration for the 30th anniversary, they decided to add a special character in there. Here, this giant man, Eric Affabee. Now, for those who might be looking at this and thinking, who is Eric Affabee? I have no idea. It doesn't sound familiar to me. And, you know, he looks familiar, but I can't put my finger on it. Is he an original character? Kinda, but not really. This is a nod to something in particular, especially if I decide to, like, he has a bit of some fun animations here, but one of them is this, to release the monsters. And as you can see, if you're familiar with a certain 90s cartoon, 90s show, then you'll know what this is referencing. So this is the main man himself, R.L. Stine, hidden as is under another pen name in shadows. And this is referencing him in the actual show, being all cloaked and hidden and all that, and making him look spooky. And the reason why behind this is because of legality issues. When it comes to doing characters, you have the rights to characters, but you don't have the right to likeness of people, real life people. So that's why sometimes when it comes to, say, people like, say, for example, if Jack Black played as R.L. Stine, if you want to do the design based on him, you can't really have him look like Jack Black, because then you have to pay royalties. So in this case, they kind of make him look a lot different. And this is their way around getting the actual main guy into the game without actually having to do anything about it. They tried once before to get R.L. Stine in the game, and I did see an actual picture of what he looked like. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that well due to certain reasons. But hey, it happens. But regardless of that, it's fun to actually have this character here because, you know, the actual creator of the series. And I love that how they made him so tall and big. Basically, he's just towering over everybody. And it makes sense because he's supposed to be the creator, so everyone else is smaller in comparison. larger in life. But it's quite funny to see that this is the case. But I digress. Anyways, to celebrate this, they also gave him a cake scene. I believe this is called, right here, this is called the Anniversary Mayhem. This was released during the time, and it also became available after the event ends. And it also had, I think, unique books that come with it, but they changed it to that of the gummy bear scene item. I'm not sure why, but they did. They kept on changing it, but this is the thing that's stepped on now. So with it is one cake golem, which is unique. This has not been a scene character or whatever. This was just made from the team. And then, of course, spooky books that have the Goosebumps logo on them. And when you summon them, they look like this. But anyway, sorry about that. Yeah, so you could see that they kind of snap. You got the golem that's huge. She scares, and then the other books just kind of snap. You know, the books kind of remind me of the pianos from Mario's. I believe that's what they're basing this off of, is from Mario 64 with a piano that kind of chomped on people. Kind of seems like that's the case. I don't know if it is, but, you know. But yeah, as you can see, they have the Goosebumps logo on there. And of course, they got the cake golem that's kind of, you know, screaming up a storm. He's like, eat me. Not really. But yeah, it's interesting that they basically made a monster to fit with the anniversary, to be like, oh yes, cake, as in like, you know, you celebrate with cake. And of course the books, because, you know, that's something that he's known for, is writing books. So they're alive, as you can see. But yeah, so we got that going on here. So that's one of the other things that got collected during this time. Fun indeed, don't get me wrong. It's interesting, but it's also kind of odd. But anyways, these guys are done. So let's just see if we can click on... Yeah, I want to click on this guy here without going... Alright, so I think that's it, yep. Alright, that's it there. So that's it for that one. So, now we go over to October, which is Halloween. And that one actually introduced something. And we recently got this scene, so that means we're good to collect everything now. But the character in question, right here, is returned to HorrorLand, and we got Lizzie Morris, who is one of the main characters from the HorrorLand series. In fact, she's been, because they used the HorrorLand franchise so much, they brought Lizzie and her brother back a bunch of times. And yeah, Lizzie's more of the main character because she's the oldest of the characters compared to her younger brother. So it's funny that we actually got her in the game finally here. But yeah, she has a bunch of stuff that's interesting. Her characteristic is that in the story here, she survived HorrorLand before, and then she was forced to kind of come back, and she's kind of in this point of like, oh, I've survived this, so that means I can pretty much help people out, type of thing. But anyways, we got a bunch of stuff here. Yeah, so they got a bunch of scenes. This was also interesting because this was also the first time we actually got a paired in the animations. So Lizzie would be partnered up with either Lucy or Dustin in some of these animations, which was fun. But it is quite interesting indeed. Let's just do the save the day because it's not needing any characters and it's actually not that bad as far as stuff goes. So we'll have her go over there. And, yeah, it's interesting that they brought back HorrorLand. Unfortunately, it was a very small version of it, because it's not like how it was back in 2020. But, you know, HorrorLand is back regardless, so that's fun. And, yeah, it's just interesting how they've kind of brought this back here. And, anyways, yeah, so she's just cutting corners here just to get to where she needs to get to, which is over here. And, yeah, I did, design this to try to be looking like HorrorLand a little bit. But yeah, so this is what she does here, basically trying to pull somebody out from the mirror because, you know, the joke of the fact of like, ooh, she's coming from the whole HorrorLand, ooh, because it's referencing, I believe, the HorrorLand actual series, where they've implied that if you go into the House of Mirrors, because originally the House of Mirrors was actually something you can actually go into, and it was just like this whole trickery type thing. But then they kind of have it so that way it has a bigger plot in the series where they closed off, because if you go to the mirrors in HorrorLand, it takes you to a parallel universe, which is like where they have this more scarier part called Panic Park. And yeah, this is just referencing that there. So interesting indeed, and quite curious. But the monsters they got added this time around actually were interesting because they came from the Animal Center cages. And these are actually creatures that got referenced in the books. Namely, the three-headed cobra, the vultures, the skull vultures, I believe. I don't know exactly what they're called, but I have the name of them. And then the four-armed beast. Now, this doesn't have a name per se, but, I'm calling him the four-armed beast because that's what it is. But yeah, this is basically referencing because at some point in the book, they get attacked by a four-armed creature, and this is the creature in question. So, yeah, so it's not the horrors themselves aren't in this. It's with Chiller, but it's interesting how they brought this instead for HorrorLand. So it's actually the creatures that got summoned here. But yeah, you got to see the vultures, the four-armed creature, and then the the three-headed snakes or cobras. So yeah, so you see them spooking everybody there. I do love how these look and give them some credit with how they designed everything here. But yeah, it's just unique in the sense of this how they designed everything. Yeah, at first I will say this: when these characters came in, they were really, really wonky as far as animation goes. They were like really bad as far as it's just like ooh boy. But yeah, you get to see the snakes attacks and all that, and then the birds over here, right? So who are they following? They're just going to scare somebody here. No. Who are they going after? I'm curious. Oh yeah, they're going after the mayor. Yeah, so they do kind of that. So you get a good idea with how these creatures are. It's interesting. They do drop what they were supposed to drop before, which are just the signs. Which isn't bad, but at the same time, it's just like I missed the whole thing where they used to drop unique items, but that's way long ago. But yeah, and that concludes the stuff that got released for 2022. So yeah, that's why I didn't do one last year because of how small it was, and it's even smaller this year with 2023 because not a whole lot got released. So the next thing that got released was the Bride of the Living Dummy, which unfortunately I wish didn't because of how they ended the story. Let's see if I can find the main character here. If I can, that would be great. Let's see if I can find her. It's like Where's Waldo in this business. Let's see if I can. She should be somewhere around. I don't know if she's near her home, which is possible, but I don't know. That's the thing. They just walk around anywhere, so it's hard to see where they could be. Some of them walk slow, others walk normal, others walk fast. It's so random. Let's see. Let's see if we can find her. Well, I guess we're going to have to go the long way then. So this is the next character we got, which is Jillian. Ah, she's over here. Yeah, so this is her. Jillian Zimmerman. So she was the main character from The Bride of the Living Dummy and the character that Slappy falls in love with. I don't know why. It's so stupid. They could have fixed the book, but they didn't. They just copied and pasted, so yeah, we got that nonsense. But regardless, we got this. So she has a bunch of stuff here that's interesting. And, yeah, so it's a bunch of stuff that's interesting as far as the whole premise of it goes. But they all have different, That's weird. How come... I'm just realizing that for some reason Mary Ellen Shakes actually drops a lot more coins for less time versus everything else. So I guess we can do that one. Yeah, so we'll go over there. Unfortunately, the altar scene that came with this event wasn't made available just yet to purchase or to get. Therefore, oh, what's going on over here? I just realized this got moved. No. Hey, what, no. That's, why did all of this got moved? Yeah, you stay like that. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay, well, the game's acting wonky. Well, good thing I've noticed. Anyways, let's go back to her, shaking Mary Ellen herself. She should be up here. I don't know where she is right now, exactly. But, oh, she's over here, walking very slowly. But, anyways, with this, what's interesting is that, Mary Ellen herself is, like, I thought she would be the main character to this whole story, but no, she's not. She kind of got, like, pushed aside for the most part. And, for the scene, they actually had her sisters be involved, her twin sisters, and Mary Ellen herself. So, we unfortunately don't have the scene right now, but most likely when I do another one of these, most likely we'll bring that up and show it off when we do. Like I've done in the past with, you know, this one. Anyway, she's on her way to do a little animation so that we can talk about it. I will give it credit that at least her animations come with 2 tasks that allows you to actually see Mary Ellen, actually, like, the actual character, so you actually get to see her, like in this here, for example, for a scene in question, so it's not like it's out of the blue, so that's good. So at least we got that going on here. So, but yeah, unfortunately, that seems to be it as far as stuff goes. I do wish that it was a lot more to this, but unfortunately, no, not the case. But, and that's it for the character here. They try to make her interesting and stand out with some of the animations they got going on here. But at the same time, my worry was that she was going to be kind of like a Zeke. Not a Zeke, God, I don't remember what the kid's name is. The kid from Be Afraid. You know what I mean. That kid. Yeah, he's so significant that I forgot his name. Anyways. Carter, or no. God, this is bugging me. Let's just find out what his name was, because I'm just lost it right now. Connor, that's it. I thought he was going to be a Connor, but no, unfortunately he's not. So, you know, it was fine for what it was. Alright, so now let's go ahead for the last character we actually got recently for Halloween this year. Yeah, you could see, we only got 2 characters this year. Wow, what an improvement. God, I wish there was more stuff to go for, but no, apparently they don't want to do that no more. Why? Hopefully next year was better. I'm hoping, but, let's see, she should stand out like a sore thumb because she's wearing a unique look to her. But she's also unique because she also has a scene included. Where is she? See if I can find her. Man, you would think the finding Waldo would be easy, but no, she's not. That's odd. Where is she? She should stand out because she's wearing a big hat. Ah, whatever. I guess let's find out where she was. I feel stupid. Mistress Barbarus. Oh, that's why you were hiding over here. Yeah, so Mistress Barbarus. She's the last character that got added recently as far as new characters go. She is the ringleader behind the Circus of Fear. And it's interesting because of her premise. I guess she's a witch of some sort because of her powers and whatnot. But she seems like she's more interested in actually having her circus be well performed, as well as just entertaining. Like, she'll do anything just to get that kind of perspective. But as far as things go, that's basically it. Not a whole lot with her. Animations are quite interesting, especially featuring with Dustin and Marty. But yeah, she has some interesting work there. But we're not going to do an animation with her just yet because she does come with a scene included this time. That is with the freak show tent. Now, there is another one, but this was the first year they actually got introduced to this new event style. This one here, the final sideshow tent. So it comes with the the rotten flesh kid, the girl with 5 tongues, and reptile boy. And, of course, herself. So this is what the scene looks like. As you can see, she's floating around in her red aura to show you that she is a witch, or she has spooky powers. But yeah, this is what she does. She does lightning powers, like Emperor Palpatine, in a sense. But yeah, she does this. Quite interesting, not too bad. You know, you would think that she would do something else in particular, but nah. But this is one of those things that is just quite interesting to see, kind of thing like that. So, I'll just see this. So, yeah. So, the characters here, they're from the books themselves, the freaks that got mentioned. And, it is interesting, right? They got the... Yeah, I love how Reptile Boy is just kind of like, looks like he got scared, while the other characters are just more scaring other people. So, quite interesting. And, if I can click on things that do not... Yeah. It is interesting. The scenes themselves are not that bad. They are okay for what they were. So there we go. So let's see if we can find... See if we can find her again. She's over here. There she is. Now, what can we do? Let's see here. Animations. Let's see. Yeah, why not? We just do Call All Freaks. Let's just have that going on here. We'll just have this here. And then we'll go on for that. And, yeah, we'll just see this right now. Yeah, so there she is. So this is what she does. She just kind of does this whole making an announcement type thing, kind of using her microphone. Which is interesting because you would think the microphone would be actually more of the big speaker one. But no, instead it's actually like the microphones you use for like ringleader, like, you know, when you're doing the whole let's get ready to rumble type thing. You know what I mean, the whole wrestling ring type microphones. But I guess, yeah, I guess it is a microphone, so alright, whatever. That's her microphone she uses, which I guess makes sense. But yeah, that's what she does there. So that's unfortunately the last character we got here. And normally this would have been the end of it because we didn't get anything else. But recently, right now, we have a Christmas update that's going on. And unfortunately, no new character. But there was something new that did get added recently, which we're going to show off. And that is a new monster scene. Yeah, a new monster scene. Actually, let's just have this character do this here because, you know, helps get me money. This here. This is the Elf Broken Eggs, and this comes with the Unshaven Elves. These are not based off any character from a book. These are their own original monsters that they've made recently to find a fit with the festive season. They drop the coal that Santa does, unfortunately, because they didn't add any unique items for this time around, which sucks. You would think that they would, but no, instead they didn't. So yeah, these little green elves type thing, they're supposed to be kind of like gremlins in the sense of like how they're supposed to be acting and whatnot. And as you can see, they're really tiny. I guess it makes sense because they're supposed to be elves, but yeah, it's ridiculous how small they are. Like, they're really, really tiny. Like, they're so... Like, look at how small they are compared to everyone else. And that's what they do. So they're kind of like... You know, they kind of do 1, 2, 3, and then they just spook somebody. And they also are pretty slow as far as, like, the responses. But not by much. But yeah, so you could see that they kind of do this whole... Yeah, so it's interesting with these little guys. With, like, I'm still learning about the story behind them because I'm still doing the event because, you know, they did bring a little story behind it, but not by much. So we still don't have any context exactly what these things are. But I guess judging from the sounds of it, they're supposed to be like actual elves, but They're more mischievous this time around. Like, they think they're people, apparently. And they like to camouflage themselves, so they're little gremlin monsters. That's the best way to describe them. But yeah, it's interesting with this whole premise stuff here of how they do things. But yeah, that's about it. So with that ends the collection for this new one for 2023. So yeah, not a whole lot happened in 2022 and 2023, but that's the new stuff that got added. So added with 2021 to now, this is where we're at. Hopefully next year we have a lot more content to kind of continue with this. Else, I guess I'll see you in 2 years from now. Oh man, I wish this game had more content update coming in, but it's whatever. Alright, well, see you soon, hopefully. Until then, enjoy your festivities.